What happens to early childhood education after Governor Rendell? Let's find out next on Behind the Headlines.
This is Behind the Headlines, with behind-the-scenes analysis on issues affecting Pennsylvanians, sponsored by the Susquehanna Valley Center for Public Policy. Now, here's your host.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Behind the Headlines. I'm Charlie Greenwald, Senior Fellow of the Susquehanna Valley Center for Public Policy, and I'm joined, as usual, by my co-host, Mara Donnelly. Mara, welcome.
Hello, Charlie.
It's nice to see you as we enter this fall season.
That's exactly right.
And we go further and further to the gubernatorial contest.
It's just around the corner now.
The days are numbering down, and yeah, it's very interesting to see what's going to happen. And a part of that campaign has to do with early childhood education.
Yes.
And today's show is, the first segment will be about early childhood education. We're lucky to have two very good experts on this particular subject here in Pennsylvania. We have Terry Casey, who's the president and CEO of Pennsylvania Child Care Association. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you. Good to join you.
Nice to have you. And we have Bruce Clash, who's the PA State Director of Fight Crime, Invest in Kids. Welcome, Bruce.
Thank you for having me.
It's nice to have both of you. Now, you folks are members, your organizations are members of a new statewide coalition that's trying to improve childhood education. Could you tell us the name of that coalition and a little bit about what you intend to do and how it came about? You can split that question up between the two of you. I'll turn you over to Mara.
Okay. Let me start off by just explaining that the campaign is called First Steps Pennsylvania, and it's a statewide campaign. A coalition of organizations decided to start up and ask others to join and endorse the campaign. And we're still having organizations sign up, but we're very happy with the results so far. So we have well over 1,200 organizations and individuals representing individuals who care for young children, who educate young children, as well as some parents and family members, and probably touching around 250,000 children. So
yeah, our purpose is to really raise the profile of early childhood education, early learning in the campaign, to help the candidates really understand the value to Pennsylvania of making sure all kids get the right start in life, and to help the public understand and ideally support candidates that support early childhood education.
Can you define early childhood education for us?
Early childhood education is basically beginning at birth and goes up into the early primary grades, and is looking at child development, parenting, partnering with parents, parenting skills. Parents are the first teachers of our children, so that's a critical part of it. And then we're talking about child care, Head Start, pre-K. You're probably familiar with those terms.
Oh, so the main focus right now is to raise the visibility of early childhood education within the gubernatorial campaign. Is that correct?
That's correct. The state has made tremendous strides in the last 8 years, and we finally invested for the first time in 2003. We were one of the last states to invest public dollars in this wise investment. Our goal was to continue that progress, ideally to invest more, minimally to maintain what's been achieved, and to continue the fantastic results that research is showing right here already on these kids that have gone through these programs with taxpayer-funded dollars.
So this is certainly something that the Rendell administration is very willing to take credit for. They believe that they've played an important role in improving services in this area. Would you agree with that assessment then?
Definitely. The Rendell administration has been very supportive. I think they took the study that had been done by the prior administration, the Ridge and Schweiker administration, and that was handed to them to sort of say, what's the quality level now? And also the research had been presented to Governor Rendell when he was coming in. And I think that helped convince him that it was important to invest up front because you do save so much in the long run. That starts children off on the academic pathway, the right way, and that keeps them going throughout their life. It gives them some of the basic skills that will carry them forward to be high school graduates, employed, taxpayers, supporting the Commonwealth.
So as nonpartisan organizations,
Will you be
this is not a
endorsing? You won't
partisan
be-
organization,
No.
nor is early childhood education and all the benefits that come to taxpayers and the kids and families themselves a partisan issue. And so we are not endorsing any candidates. We are
For the
simply,
gubernatorial,
for, the
or for any of
for
the-
any,
Any
that's
of the
right,
Any
we're a
political
nonpartisan
Right.
coalition, as are our organizations as nonprofits. But we're simply trying to raise the profile of what Pennsylvania gets in return for this wise use of taxpayer investment and resources.
How many organizations are in your coalition, and how many people do those organizations encompass?
Within our Early Childhood Coalition, there are about 12 organizations, and that forms the core for the First Steps Pennsylvania campaign.
12
And that
basic
campaign is
organizations.
a much larger in number of organizations and individuals. But the core that has been working together, and Bruce and I met about 10 years ago. I, of course, with the organization I represent, we're all about children and the care and education of children. So it was very nice to meet Bruce, who comes from a different segment of the world, and to find out that law enforcement sees a great benefit to early care and education as well.
We're an organization of more than 200 Pennsylvania district attorneys, police chiefs, and sheriffs who one wouldn't ordinarily expect to be in a pre-K classroom saying these are crime prevention taxpayer investments. But we know that law enforcement knows, being on the front line in the fight against crime, that we can't just arrest and imprison our way out of the problem, that we all have a stake in everyone else's kids getting off to the right start, because ultimately if they don't, they're not engaged, ready to learn in school, that the dropout rate goes up dramatically, more likely to be on welfare, more likely to be held back, put in special education, all things that consume our scarce taxpayer dollars, and keeping our community safer, because these investments actually reduce crime by young people dramatically later on.
Well, how is this working for you? Do you have the ear of both the Honorado and the Corbett campaigns at this point? Are they listening to the coalition?
We have met with both candidates, and I think they both have come out publicly and said that they see the value to early learning and want to continue that. So it'll be very critically important that we stay connected as they transition, whoever the next governor is, into the administration, to make sure that the programs are maintained and strengthened, because we don't want to fall back. Pennsylvania, as Bruce said earlier, had been at the bottom of the list as far as early learning, and we've made great strides thanks to several of the past governors and to the Rendell administration. So we want to keep that forward.
So you do anticipate a life after the election day for the coalition, is that correct? It's not just focused on election
Right.
day. It's going to go beyond that.
We want to be a partner, and with the next administration, whichever it is, we are very encouraged that both candidates have a fundamental understanding of the benefits. But we want to build on that, really, in essence, drive it home, and because the next governor determines so much of the priorities of where Pennsylvania resources will go. So we want to make sure that and help that governor make this early childhood and early learning and family support an important priority in the next administration.
What are the specific points of your action program? Then the coalition, of course, would like the next gubernatorial administration to continue some of the efforts that have been made by the Rendell administration, but specifically, what are you seeking?
We'd like to see the continued access to high-quality early care and education, so that's child care programs. We'd like to see the continuation of the programs that have been under the Head Start umbrella, and early intervention, which is critically important, so that children with learning disabilities get the right start in life. That really can save a lot of dollars as they enter the public school system.